The greatest feeling in the world was holding my own gun. I'm hypertensive, but all my decisions been wholesome. My independence had me flipping on siblings I stole from. Said I'm just big and loud. Well, ½ pound is my silent treatment. I punched out plugs I could've stopped from eating. Jackie Gleason on the TV while his mama's sleeping. That plate was made, or he got that chick filleted like she Polynesian.
The fucking niggas do to me though. So I stand there blinded while my jewelry glow.
We went through a good chunk of Paul's career and how he got to it, but your start similar to his, right? But you started just like with bars. People did not know where you were from, had no idea how to take you once you said you were from Boston, but you're getting co-signed by all these legends. So I can only imagine that the same way the pressure is up for him as far as like joining this legendary crew, you're now being co-signed by legendary artists and like super legendary art. You know what I'm saying? Like in the area so now here comes the album. Walk us through getting into making the album, the first album. Like, what was that pressure like to live up to all this hype that you created for yourself?
Facts. It was like a career before my career. Like I had a career before my real career. Just like rapping as a kid. I started rapping when I was 9 years old. And making my first demos at like, 12, 13, 14. First time going to the studio. And then, just doing shows like 16, 17, 18. So, when I finally put out a couple mixtapes and started getting like some real traction, got the unsigned hype in the source, and that was a big deal back then. It's like you would get signed. You would get signed off that. Yep. And not only would you get signed, but everybody's reading that magazine. Whoever your favorite rapper was at the time, Nas, Jay-Z, everybody's reading it, and only one person could get it a month. So I remember when I got it, like the game had called my manager, wanted me to come play music. I went to every major label. It was like, it really did help with the buzz. And it was like, I went to all these labels and all these people were like, yo, you so fire, but we can't sign you. And it kind of came down to like, we think you're a great rapper, but we don't know how to market underground rap right now.
And what year was this?
This is like 06, 07. So I ain't gonna lie, like hip hop was in a weird space because if I came out like in the 90s, I would have been out of here because I had the 90s style and 90s cosigns. So it was like there was a whole like 10 years of the underground where it was real dry, and it was only a few, like handful of artists that was keeping the underground alive. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of those artists that was just coming into the blog era, and everybody was changing with every wave. So it was like, okay, whatever Flex is playing on the radio right now, mostly down south music right now. All right, we got to make a down south track. Remember that in New York? Remember that time? Yo, we need our down south track. Lil Jon
was on fire.
We need one. We need at least one down south track. We need a hyphy track. Right. We need it's hyphy now. We need a hyphy track. Oh, it's crunk. Let's make a Houston song.
Let's but an East Coast
down
sound.
In the hook. So anything but East Coast. They were running from it, and instead I was embracing it. I got my start with DJ Premier, which is what I always wanted anyway. So I was like, all right, the road less traveled. It was like, it's going to be harder going this way, but I feel like this is the true way for me to be myself and have longevity in hip hop. And I'm so happy I did, because I remember like the people around me, I ain't gonna say no names, but the other underground cats around me, a lot of them were jumping out the window just trying to do whatever was hot at the time. And I bet you if they hear those records right now, they won't be proud of them. You know what I'm saying? But when I do shows, I still do my records from 06, 07, 09, and they still, I was in Mexico City last week, and they knew my shit. They were all, watch how I go down. All my primo shit, they knew all that shit. Because that type of fan base, man, will last forever. That true fan base that loved you from the underground, that shit will last forever. So you better off to just be yourself, you know what I mean, than trying to jump on every wave.
But everybody wants to be famous, Turn. Like being famous is for a lot of people more important than being good.
I know.
Being dope. Like they want to be
definitely
famous.
More important than being good or dope, in this era. But I think
but not to you.
No, not for me. I mean, shit, I always knew that, like, I always knew my path. I always knew that the underground had to keep going. Somebody had to be the new guru. Somebody had to keep the lyricism going, the Black Thought, the Big Pun, the Nas, like the shit that made me want to rhyme. Everybody can't be that A-list artist. Somebody got to keep the underground alive. And I feel like that was me and Static's job. You know, we came to New York and was able to do what Gangstar did. 2 cats that's not from New York who
but you had
kept the sound going.
You had the opportunity to go and you could have left that alone at any given moment, and because you had the music, you had the ties, you had the industry label connects. You know what I mean? You knew the formula. It was a simple formula at the time between when the 90s was doing this and before the South complete takeover. There was this space in the middle that you're describing. You could have made a run at it, but you fuck that. Yeah,
I just felt like it was just better to just make what was true to me. Now everybody wants to hit. Let's be real. Everybody wants to hit, right? In my mind, I was like, I want a Black Rob Whoa hit. Something that's true to me.
A classic,
but could still ring off wherever I go. Annie Up hit.
Timeless shit.
Feel me? I'm like, all right, if I could catch one of those, then Pharaoh Monch, you know, boom, like, you know what I'm saying? Put your hands up. Like, if I could get one of those, I'll be all right. That was kind of how I looked at it. I never really looked at it like, all right, I gotta compete with, you know, whoever's hot this year. Because it changes every year who's hot. I remember when I went to Interscope, they were like, oh, you Puerto Rican? They were all excited for the meeting. And they had this big picture of Daddy Yankee and he's sipping a Pepsi and all this shit. And they're like, all right, so you're gonna do 3 Spanish songs and then you can do all that other shit you wanna do. And I'm like, nah, dog, I don't do Spanish rap. I just played you Pete Rock, my song with Prodigy from Mobb Deep, rest in peace. I played you Buck Wild. I played you DJ Premier. This is what I'm bringing to the table. It's like, but yo, this guy just sold 700,000. You just got to do what he did, and then and it was like no disrespect to that. That's my roots. My family loves that shit, but that's not my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm an underground hip hop artist, specifically East Coast boom bap artist, and so it was like that was the struggle. They didn't know how to market an artist like me. I feel like.
It's all around. Look around you, man. You can find inspiration. You can find discouragement. It all depends on you. Perception is everything. Some people just hear another song. Some people hear the greatest. A nigga used to have no chill. Nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway.